When there's something strange in your neighborhood, who you gonna call? Well, if you're Universal Studios, it appears that you might be calling the Ghostbusters, or at least a new rumor states that Ghostbusters might be returning to Universal Studios. Let's talk about that. If you ain't afraid of no ghosts, on That Park Place. Hello, everyone. This is Jonas J. Campbell. I'm an investigative reporter for That Park Place, where we talk about streaming, video games, theme parks, and something else. Vash, help me out here. What else do we talk about here?
We talk about, entertainment. We talk about pop culture. We talk about, video games. Fortnite, for example. I know everybody loved that video. So we tried to cover the gambit. But today, I think we're talking about the Ghostbusters and what they might have to do with Universal Studios Florida.
Oh, yes.
This comes from Orlando Park Stop. Ghostbusters rumored to return to Universal Studios Florida. One of the Universal Studios Florida's opening day properties may be headed home, as new rumors suggest the company may have relicensed the Ghostbusters. People will note that when this park opened back in 1990, oh man, that's a long time ago, it actually opened with a Ghostbusters. Yeah, yeah, exactly, right? It opened with a Ghostbusters stage show, along with Jaws, the attraction, and Back to the Future, and Kong, and all these other classic properties that we've associated with vintage Universal. Well, looks like a lot of those might be coming back, including the Ghostbusters themselves, which is really, really cool. With a new parade expected to feature classic film franchises on the horizon, along with a bigger Lagoon Show and more, it's possible that we could see proton packs and ghost traps back in action. But could a new ride or even the return of a spectacular show be in the cards as well? That would be super, super cool. We'll have to wait on that one right there. But you can actually see this is from the Ghostbusters Spooktacular in the 1990s. It was a really, really cool show. Awesome effects show. By the way, Universal, usually with these kind of action, stunt shows kind of thing, they kill it. I mean, Waterworld has been just... it's just been a part of the fabric of Universal Studios Hollywood as long as I've been going there for years.
Vash, have you ever had the pleasure of watching the original Ghostbusters Spooktacular here? This was an awesome show.
No, did you see it?
Oh yeah. I was in that age where I could have watched Ghostbusters, and then of course they replaced it with Twister. We referenced in the other video the fact that Twister was there in the Jimmy Fallon video. Ghostbusters was there before them, and this was so good.
I did not know it was in that spot. Gotcha.
Yes. And of course the giant Stay Puft Marshmallow Head coming in the climax of that show is awesome. It kind of branches out. They're franchising the Ghostbusters. That seems to be a frequent plot line when they go revisit the Ghostbusters. And if you reach a certain level, you could get the proton pack in pastels.
That's cool. That is awesome. Oh man. Universal Studios classic vintage stuff used to be so cool, but I'm glad to see that these this famous franchise might be reincorporated into here. We have known for a little while now that a new parade was coming, and that a new Lagoon Show was coming. Interestingly enough, that Lagoon Show actually had new projectors installed, which you can see right here from this article from WW News Today. They are super, super big. You can see kind of the scale there with the person. They're very big projectors.
I don't know. I don't know, Vash. I think you might be projecting.
Well, there you go. You can see the old projectors actually in that housing right there. They're quite a bit smaller. This is all kind of new infrastructure as part of this lagoon. Sadly, back in 2022, there was a big hurricane that hit this area, and unfortunately, it destroyed or damaged a lot of the equipment that was used for that Lagoon Show, so it hasn't been back since. So this is obviously making up for that, but a lot of people have been speculating what the themes or what the IP that might be featured here. And well, it turns out it might actually be the Ghostbusters themselves, which is super, super cool. We can see this trademark application from Universal that may be related. U.S. Patent and Trademark Office right there. That gives
That's
maybe
a great
an indication.
name. I love that. The Mega Movie Parade, and they've even got a logo up there.
Right, the Mega Movie Parade. And it's supposed to be featuring all kinds of iconic stuff from its past, including Back to the Future, Jaws, E.T., Jurassic Park. I think it's super, super cool, especially in the lead up to Epic Universe, as well, people might be inclined to put off their vacations, right? So how do you get them to come in? Well, you do stuff like this. You really kind of, it's a little bit of nostalgia bait, but they're also doing the DreamWorks land there, doing all kinds of stuff that could maybe help not cannibalize attendance
Right.
when Epic Universe opens or in the lead up to it.
Right. And there's an important aspect of the theme park business here as well. You can keep things relevant that are not currently in movies if you have a theme park attraction for it. E.T. comes to mind. Actually, my kids, there was an E.T. reference in a show that they were watching, and I said, "Do you even get that reference?" Because I don't think they've seen the original. And they said, "Oh yeah, we know that ride." Like, oh, you're killing me here. But I'm glad they understood it on some level. But it just reminds me that I need to. We'll get some Reese's Pieces, and we'll go and watch E.T. and we'll have a lovely night. Maybe I'll get some of those big red cups from Pizza Hut, get a big old pizza and Reese's Pieces, and we'll have a nostalgia night for me and a why is Dad acting so weird night for the kids.
I love it. Hey, you know what? When I have children of my own, they'll probably know the attraction more than the ride, because they will have been mine. So there you go. But hey, your kids can nerd out on the Ecto 1 vehicle, maybe being recreated for the actual parade itself. Really, really cool stuff that might be in the works here. I gotta be honest, this gets me really, really excited. I love how when Universal kind of leans into a little bit of their vintage stuff right here. We've seen that a little bit with some of their like Lagoon shows in the past, for example, but kind of branding this as kind of like a, hey, let's relive Universal's past as we go into its future with Epic Universe, I think is really cool.
Yeah, I think this is awesome, and I appreciate that this does not need to break the bank here. It doesn't need to be an e-ticket. It just needs to be a good attraction. And Universal right now, we talk about competitive advantages. Disney has Disney Magic, and the stable of IPs that they own. Well, Universal, their advantage is their flexibility and the fact that if this is popular, they can do it, and if it's not popular, they can cut it off and do something else without it being a. They're willing to admit their mistakes, or at least from a financial standpoint, they're willing to move on very quickly if something doesn't work.
Yeah, and they're also willing to try some stuff out. Not to say that, Disney's not willing to try out stuff like the Galactic Star Cruiser, but
I would argue the amount of money that they spend on that one, they were not trying it out.
Yeah.
Whereas this is a parade.
I'll tell you what. I mean, the plan was to bring one of those to every single resort around the world. That did not happen. But for Universal, they're a little bit edgy. They can try some stuff. We can have like a Jimmy Fallon ride. Maybe that's not going to be in the long-term plans, but we can do it at least for the time being, right? Or we can do this kind of moving walkway ride in the form of Minion Blast or whatever. Like they try some stuff out. They kind of push this industry in really creative directions, as we saw back when Wizarding World opened in 2010, for example. Right? I think it's really, really cool to have that flexibility, like you were saying, Jonas.
Yep. All right, Vash, do you have anything else you want to cover here before we wrap this up?
No, just that Universal, I think, is heading in a really positive direction in the lead up to Epic Universe. We obviously know that park is going to be. It's just gonna. It's gonna do such amazing things. But I think a lot of people have been like, "Hey, what are the parks that already exist are getting?" Well, now we have a clear understanding of what's coming in the near future, along with some of the rumors that we talk about for its long-term
like
future.
Ghostbusters, Pokemon, Legend of Zelda, etc. They've already got solid parks that are doing well and on the upswing. And they've got a lot of runway here of things that they can do, a lot of potentiality in those parks, and they seem to be cashing in on that potentiality. Of course, thank you so much to our viewers. If you got any comments here, if you got something you would like to see in a Universal Studios theme park, how would you revitalize Universal Studios Orlando and Florida? Sorry, Hollywood. There is a Hollywood, Florida. That'll throw you off as well. Like this video if you like this video. Consider sharing it out if you know someone who is interested in a Ghostbusters parade over there at Universal Studios. And of course, consider subscribing to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.